Hello everyone, this is Crypto Maximalist. Welcome back to another video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and get involved if you like the content. So we're just taking a look at Verasity here. As we can see, the volume overall has been pretty damn low recently, hasn't it? Not much has been happening at all for Verasity. You can see here basically we've just been slowly, heading to the downside, let's be honest. Stuck under our EMAs, basically with low volume and just low interest in crypto in general at the minute. Ever since we hit that high for Bitcoin, where we hit around 8.5 cent all-time high for Verasity up here. We have since then been in a strong downtrend. You can see it very clearly. Just if I can actually select my paintbrush tool here, lower lows and lower highs all the way down. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. We've come down recently and made a lower low again, where we have bounced on this previous key level of structure here at around, what is this, 0.3 cents, 3.5 of a cent. Is that how you say it? Let's just say in between 0.3 and 0.4 of a cent. Obviously Verasity divided up into very, very small increments. But you can see here this chart, I mean, it's had an absolutely massive capitulation as it from this high here. We're down around, is it 95%? 95% to that low, yeah. So we're down a massive amount here from that all-time high of, the all-time high of 8.5 cents from here. Isn't it like a 20x? Even more than that, 25x back to the all-time high. Very, very interesting indeed. But obviously you can see when you're looking at the charts recently, we have just come down. We had this swing low here, which we actually lost, retested and continued to the downside. But looking like maybe we're putting in some kind of a double bottom down here on that previous key level of support right now. And you can see the bullish divergences as well. The price has just been selling off. I think people have just been capitulating out of the market for the most part on a lot of these smaller altcoins which haven't had as much attention. But you can see here, price action coming to the upside, to the downside, sorry. RSI coming to the upside. It had a little bit of a bounce off the low here, but realistically, the volume is so low. If you look at these candles, they are incredibly small in comparison to back here, aren't they? And it is pretty obvious in our opinion that, a lot of people have lost interest in Verasity currently. Obviously, we've seen in the market a lot of cryptos have been having a very decent renaissance over the past week or so to the upside, with some potential bullish news in the market. Obviously, Bitcoin dragging a lot of those higher altcoins to the upside as well in the top 20, 30. But Verasity being as small as it is will probably wait a little longer to move in our opinion, once it has more confirmation of upside in the market. But you can see here very positive. The last time that we got up above the 20 EMA was this big candle here. We kind of coiled up, didn't we? And we came up and retested that previous resistance. But we did roll over to the downside as a result of, basically Bitcoin being heavily correlated to Bitcoin here. There was a bit of a ascending triangle type formation, followed by a roll over to the downside. We come back down, we make a new lower low, and now looking like we are getting potentially back above our EMAs here again. We're above the 20. We're coiling up in between our EMAs right now. And if we do see that breakout and that back test, you'd probably expect Verasity really coming back up and retesting some higher levels, maybe getting a bit more interest come back into the market. And, realistically, we'd say if we do start breaking out of this, this 55 EMA here, there's not really much resistance, is there, apart from this level here around a half a cent. You'd say coming up towards that 3/4 of a cent level there as being your key target. If we do start to do something like this, in our opinion, where we break out, we backtest the 55 and we get up above this key level of resistance here, we'd probably be putting in a few, cheeky longs in for Verasity, we'd say, looking something like this with your stop loss below your EMAs, coming up and trying to target the top of this range, because we do think, we are starting to see a bit of a reversal in the market in general for a lot of cryptos. Bitcoin looking like it could potentially be putting in a double bottom. And if that was the case, and we do see Bitcoin start to move up to some of its previous resistances, then obviously Verasity is probably going to be highly correlated to Bitcoin and start to follow to the upside. So as we've said before, Verasity right now looking like it's really not doing that much, currently coming down to that previous key level of resistance flipped into support, and probably looking for a little bit of a move to the upside in correlation with the rest of the crypto market. As we said, if Bitcoin and Ethereum do start to do something like this in their respective ranges, back up towards the top of the range, which we have seen for Bitcoin, we're probably going to see Verasity do something very similar, at least having a move to the upside like so, heading back up towards the top of this little area here that we have marked out, that key resistance at 3/4 of a cent. So in terms of price predictions, as we've been saying, If we're getting up above our EMAs and they are starting potentially to do something like this and cross over, and they get back tested and we're heading back up through our levels, we've got levels here, the key level of a 0.5%, obviously a good psychological level, and then heading up to that 0.75% level as well. Also a very key level in our opinion. So if we're heading to the upside, that would be our target. Obviously, if we're rolling over, we're coming back down to this, what is this 3.5% level, where we probably see hopefully a back test and a bounce in that level. But if we did see ourselves rolling over, another key level down here at around that, basically that 0.2% level, which is at the bottom of this little consolidation period back here, which would be the next swing area where we would see some support. So overall, you know, things looking, everyone's so bleak with Verasity right now. A lot of the sentiment online is, you know, very, very bearish. But when you're 95% from your all-time high, this is typically how far most cryptocurrencies tend to fall from their all-time high in bear markets before they do see a rally. Bitcoin and Ethereum are down 80%. Most cryptos that are altcoins are down 95%. We are starting to see, you know, less sellers are exhausted, aren't they? Let's be honest. And you can see very clearly price action's coming down, RSI is coming up. We're starting to put in a low, most likely, in our opinion, according to all the technicals and from previous bear market statistics that we have seen. In our opinion, we're probably going to start seeing a bounce for most of these cryptos fairly soon. It might not be instantaneously. We might see lower prices first, but we are starting to see, you know, a lot of resistance of, you know, further selling pressure in the market. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to check out the links in the description below to support the channel. Grab yourself some free money bonuses and we'll see you in the next video.